so ashamed of her breasts that she lets a Machiavellian psychopath cut them off.
How dare you!
But I was not a member of the IRA.
Get a couple of dozen of your mates and go down to that Buckingham Palace and kill the old bag.
Big Mike il capo.
Gran Mikey el jefe. ビッグマイクとチーフ。ミクマイและหัวหน้า
Floody.
Big Mike and the Chief.
We're off.
We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Welcome to another episode of Big Mike and the Chief. We are joined today with the writer, Peter Flanagan.
Michael.
The writer, Flanagan, author. I'm just going to read out a quote that was given about Peter Flanagan by the Irish sports journalist Tom Humphreys, who actually later would have gotten in trouble. But this doesn't.
I was just about to say, yeah.
Yeah, but this doesn't diminish the quote because I thought it was great. He just said this of Flanagan's writing: he has a lust for knowledge, a fetish for justice, a man that finds the truth as the biggest aphrodisiac there is. Flanagan is no less than a journalistic sensation. That's Tom Humphreys, who would later get in trouble for some unrelated things. But how does that make you feel now to hear that?
It feels very good. Philip Schofield once said that I had a kink for veritas, which is Latin for truth.
Right.
So I get a lot of very positive feedback from other disgraced light entertainers and journalists.
Yes, yeah. There is something about men that have been led down into the devil's garden. That's it. They seem to have a sweet tooth for Flanagan.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is it about you that attracts these type of figures to your work?
I suppose I have a dark charisma.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That draws them in.
You're wearing all black.
All black,
I'm
and
wearing
it's
all
one of the
black.
hottest days of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wear black almost every day.
Yeah.
Is
Is that because you are in mourning for your own innocence? You're grieving the loss of your own innocence.
I am, yeah.
On a daily basis.
I am.
You are a widow of your own childhood.
I'm mourning my childhood.
Yeah.
I'm mourning my childhood, yeah.
I thought you were mourning the loss of Cormac McCarthy.
Yes, the author Cormac McCarthy.
Did he write The Road?
He wrote The Road. He wrote No Country for Old Men. And this was actually...
The Road was loosely based on your childhood in Kilkenny, wasn't it?
Well, The
It
Road...
was you and your father going into town to buy milk.
There was a time in Kilkenny where all there was no food in the shops, and it was very similar to the Soviet Union near the end of the 80s. The system had broken down in Kilkenny, and me and my father went around with a trolley, and we, to be honest, if I call a spade, we would eat people.
Mickeys.
Yeah, well, we'd eat. Because if you think about it now, when you're hungry, and if you think about the Ukrainian famine in the 30s, and there was parents, and you know this, Chief.
I know. Well,
and the Chief is wearing his interviewing glasses.
Well, these are my Hunter S. Thompson glasses. Seeing as we have an esteemed writer.
And Rob was saying earlier, and this is true because, of course, Peter Flanagan would be a hero to me and Rob, and is a great comedian, and also probably the best Irish journalist of his generation.
The voice of a generation.
The voice of a generation. And Rob over there.
Only second to Tom Humphreys, possibly, but...
Well, Humphreys was before that happened.
Yeah.
Humphreys, I think no one would cover a Chelsea Arsenal game as well as
What
Tom
did Humphreys do?
He was texting a young one.
Right.
And then after he texted her sometime later, then he'd write her.
Right.
Yeah. And so and she was I think maybe 14 or 15 or something. Now
that's an important detail.
That's an important detail, yeah.
You should have written an article about it.
Yeah, but now this is the kind of investigative questioning is what's got you to where you're gotten. Why did this happen to Humphreys? What age was she? And you've already got to the bottom of this story in about 30 seconds, and that's why you're the best.
That's why I'm very good at what I do.
You're very good at what you do. Cormac McCarthy, famous American author who you brought up, Chief, has died, but I have a quote here from no less than a fellow called Bobby Kerr, who is one of the dragons in Dragon's Den, who said Cormac McCarthy will never die, whilst Peter Flanagan's articles in the journal are still being published.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Cormac McCarthy will never die.
I've been writing extensively about cannibalism.
Yes.
And it's one of my favorite subjects.
Yeah. And what is it about cannibalism that?
I suppose I'd be walking down the street and I'd see someone and I think I'd like to take an old gobble off of them.
Well, no, is this then less of an interest and more of a kind of a compulsion? More of a kind of a lust for the flesh of man.
Lust for flesh. I do have compulsive tendencies when it comes to flesh.
Yeah.
I always have.
You're a man of big sexual appetites, and so much so that it has driven you to the Buddhist Centre in Bethnal Green.
That's correct.
To try and kind of tame or throw cold water on the desires of Flanagan.
Yes. I go to the Buddhist Centre probably once a week in Bethnal Green.
I've been there recently.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen to this now.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a real den of lost souls, isn't it?
It is. They actually have they have the small room.
Yeah.
Where there's for the beginners classes.
Yes.
Where they have a
you go in the
Buddha
beginners
statue,
classes.
Beginners classes. Then there's the larger room. And is there a
the
Flanagan?
shrine room? You're talking about the large room, the shrine room.
Is there a Flanagan room in the?
That's a secret room. So there's actually 3 rooms. There's a basement room as well, where they do like funerals and. How many times have you been?
3 times.
Okay, so in your 4th time, you'll be taken down to the secret shrine room.
Okay.
And you'll be taught. So you've probably done the Metabhavana now.
Yeah.
You've done mindfulness of breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next section you'll be taken downstairs, and you'll do a guided meditation. With a guru, and then you'll be asked to slowly start sucking his penis.
Oh, okay, right.
And that's the final step.
Step to enlightenment.
Yes.
Okay.
So, do you think, and now as a Buddhist,
yes,
and a seeker of truth,
yes,
and I would say one of the foremost love makers in the Hackney area of London,
yes,
a thorough lover is the feedback I've gotten. He won't leave any.
No stone unturned.
No stone unturned.
Unskilled but enthusiastic is what I like to
genital
say.
Mutilation.
What's your opinion of that, Mr. Flanagan?
Female or male?
Both.
Against.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
He's on record. So, but I was going to say to you, now when you as a practicing Buddhist, when you hear the news and you see on the news that the Dalai Lama has asked a young boy to bloody suck on his tongue, does that fill you with a shame for what you've done, or does it kind of even say, hey, listen, nobody's perfect and maybe we should all follow his lead?
Well, you're speaking to a Buddhist.
I'm speaking to a Buddhist, so a big part of my culture is sucking the tongues of consensual adult women.
Right.
I don't know. So the Dalai Lama thing, I found peculiar, because I have been accused of cultural appropriation by going to the Buddha Centre. We are,
right.
if you've been to the Buddha Centre in Bethnal Green, it's predominantly white people.
It is, yeah.
It's mostly
I made
white
that observation.
people.
Yeah.
You know,
You'd be a red person.
I'd be pink.
You'd be a pink.
Yeah, you're the
Good
exception to the rule.
I'd be a ham-fisted ghoul.
You would.
My skin is like uncooked mince.
Yeah. There is.
But you don't mince your words when you're writing for the journal.
And writing for the journal, and that's the most important thing. And thank you for saying that, Chief.
Yeah.
Here. So it's cultural appropriation down in the Buddhist
It is.
Centre.
So what happens is a group of white people get together every Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
And we have tea.
Yep.
We have biscuit. Have you had the Oreos?
No, not the Oreos, no.
Boardman?
No, I have had the rooibos tea.
Could you say that again, please?
Rooibos tea.
Is that an Eastern tea, Chief?
I don't know. I just it's a decaffeinated. There's no caffeine in it, so that's why I drink it. Cause
It's a boy sucking tea.
yeah.
That's
That's a boy
right.
sucker.
It is.
That's
yeah.
a boy sucker. Yeah.
That's a boy
Yeah.
sucker.
What was the word on the? What did the Buddhist? Where did the Buddhist center stand on the Dalai Lama drama?
Well, it wouldn't be their first.
The
wouldn't be
Lama
their-
drama.
So
The Lama
I
drama.
haven't spoken to them about the Lama drama, but it wouldn't be their first scandal.
Right.
So the founder,
Oh,
Tom
has a
Humphries.
cloud over him.
would that be Siddhartha now?
That'd be is it Siddhartha Buddha? I
Yeah.
think so you're thinking about the Buddha.
I'm thinking about the Buddha.
The Big Sid,
Big Sid.
Yeah.
Psycho Sid,
Sid Singh.
Sid Vicious,
That's right. Sid and
uh,
Nancy.
Fat Sid,
Yeah. Sid the cunt.
Sid the fat
Yeah.
bastard.
Sid the fucking smelly fool.
Yeah. Well, listen, we'll leave him out of it.
Sid the tinker's cousin.
He's a bad man.
He fucking
He
is.
was a bad man.
Absolutely.
He's still being reincarnated out there somewhere.
Oh, sure, he's probably a little fucking toad or something.
Yeah, he's a little toad
Or he's-
fucking eating flies.
Or he's probably the fart coming out of a fucking train conductor's arse.
He's probably bacteria in the fart.
He probably is,
He'd
yeah.
get bacteria in the fart.
Yeah,
he'd
but
he'd
don't-
have to be
you're
an
go-
organism.
You're going to get him horny over there
Well,
now
yeah,
if you keep
well,
going with that talk.
And you
It's
taking
too late for
notes?
that. I'm taking notes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
drawing conclusions.
Okay. We will review all of this at the end.
I'll be dead honest with you before the podcast started, and Chief is obviously very nervous that you're here, and he himself wants to be an investigative journalist, and
Yeah.
he's trying to impress because he wants to look as if he's investigating you in a way.
Okay.
Right, so just go
Okay.
along. Just
Yeah.
It's kind of like a transition year job, is
a
it?
little bit, yeah.
I'm here to pick your brain.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, we were saying there something about a tinker's cousin.
Yes.
What did we say about that?
So Buddha.
Buddha, yes.
The Buddha now, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
He kept his powder dry.
Right. And what would that? And what does that mean to a layman like me?
So as far as we're aware,
Is that author talk now?
the Buddha, as far as we know, was a decent enough sort of a fella.
Right. He sat by a river, didn't he, and kind of spat in it and pissed and shit and
Yeah, he was looking for young ones.
yeah,
He was sitting by the river looking for
fishing
young
for
ones.
young
He
ones,
was looking for young ones.
fishing for Guatemalan 12-year-olds.
He I don't know if
What was he using as bait?
what was he in his bait?
Little pictures of Bieber's arse.
Enlightenment was his bait.
Was it?
Yeah, a sense of well-being.
No tastier piece of bait.
Yeah,
Then
well-being.
peace of mind. Flanagan.
Enlightenment.
Yeah,
Inner peace.
that's right. Speaking of which, inner peace. A man just died who I know you, and it says here, and this is the information I've gotten. You attended Silvio Berlusconi's funeral.
Did the Irish Independent tell you to say that?
That's what's been quoted here. That
Was
you
there not a photograph of you?
was there not
attendance?
a photograph of you in attendance? Silvio Berlusconi, who, correct me if I'm wrong, was one of your heroes.
I wouldn't say he was a hero. We met at a Charlie McCreevy golf classic in 2004.
You did.
Yes, it's the annual Charlie
McCreevy, former Irish Minister for Finance.
That's correct.
And all-round good man.
Close personal friend.
Yeah.
Uh,
Brown envelope enthusiast.
Well,
His hand nearly
That's-
turned into a brown envelope.
that's
He had
never
so many on him.
actually. That's actually offensive.
Is this true? And I didn't. And I did. I think you might have got a lead on this, Chief, from
Yes.
some of your sources. Did it so transpire that McCreevy's two hands turned into brown envelopes? Such was the frequency of their contact.
So I want to get this absolutely clear.
Yes.
There is no suggestion
Right.
that Charlie McCreevy has done anything
Right.
except drive the Irish economy into a fucking crater. But no, I don't think anyone's ever accused him of corruption.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been accused of corruption.
Because I knew a girl, and she's from County Offaly. Big girl. Did not take care of herself. Loved a fizzy drink. Do you know what I mean? TK lemonade. She'd be drinking it like a sucky calf. She had it in an IV into her veins.
Oh.
She was, yeah.
Hefty.
Oh, she was a fucking bullock. We could have sold her down to Mart. This kind of one. But apparently she seduced Charlie McCreevy at an event at a fun factory in Carlow.
Go away.
He was opening a fun factory down there. Yes, and she went to fellate him and found, no less, that his cock was a brown envelope.
His penis was brown
It was a brown envelope
and had the coarse texture of brown paper.
of brown paper. Yeah, I mean, she still went ahead and she didn't want to pass comment or seem rude.
She sucked the coins
She
out.
sucked it off, and the insides of her mouth are still
Did
still
she
raw.
she had to lick the seal.
Yeah,
The envelope, right? Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just saying.
Where did she post it?
Timbuktu.
Yeah.
Can you look
Yeah.
into that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Posted it up herself.
We
sure.
do have a
She-
photo of you at Berlusconi's funeral that we're going to put up onto the
We will
a graphic onto
We will
the,
put it up as a graphic.
Yeah.
So
You're attending Cormac McCarthy's funeral, is that correct?
It would have been rude not to go to Silvio's funeral.
yes. Silvio, of course, was famous for having bunga parties.
Bunga Bunga party.
You ever-
I was never at a Bunga Bunga party.
You were never at one, but were you in one?
I was never at, in, or adjacent to a Bunga Bunga party.
Right.
I met Silvio once
Yeah.
at 2004 Charlie McCreevy Golf Classic.
Yes.
It was a 4-ball.
right.
It was myself,
Yeah.
Silvio Berlusconi,
Silvio Berlusconi.
Bill Clinton,
Yep.
and Lou Ferrigno,
Lou Ferrigno,
the actor Lou Ferrigno.
who was the Hulk famously
correct.
in the late 70s and in the 80s. And actually, Arnold Schwarzenegger beat him in a Mr. Universe competition.
Bodybuilding,
That's right. Yeah.
oiled up,
Oiled up.
thong clad.
Thong clad. Fucking cock shrinked into peanuts.
Jesus.
From the drugs. Yes. Did you
steroids.
Steroids, yeah.
Have you ever taken steroids, Flanagan?
No.
No.
I've taken a steroid cream for my scalp,
Yeah.
but I've never taken the anabolic steroids for my muscles.
People would say that you've claimed a few scalps with your articles.
I don't hold back.
Yes.
That's a very nice turn of phrase you just used.
Yeah.
I've got plenty more where that came
Write
from.
that down.
A man like you and a man who writes as honestly as you and a man who, like I said, has a lust for justice, has a
kink for the law.
Has a kink for the law. And dare I say it, and you don't like, you can't say it yourself, but you're an angel. You're an angel, and and more power to you. But a man like you must make enemies.
Yes.
Because you brown a lot of people off.
Yes.
You can't tell the truth the way you do and not fucking burn a few bridges. Talk about that and talk about its effect on your mental health and your physical health.
I have enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah. John 3700047 in the comment section of the journal.
Yeah.
Interesting that you should
What's
say
he
that.
said? Because that's actually interesting because
Yeah.
we've gotten some comments here
Yeah. What's he saying now?
from journal editors. Obviously, if you want to see a read some Peter's work, he writes for the Irish Times, the Journal, Zoo,
Der
who else?
Spiegel.
Zoo, Der Spiegel.
Yeah.
The Leinster Leader was actually my first job.
That's right.
A
You're a
local paper.
cartoonist for the National or the Carlow Times.
Yes. And I've also submitted a lot of work to Mein Kampf.
Right.
I've been doing a lot of work for Mein
Revisionist revisions of this is Hitler's book.
This Adolf Hitler's book.
Yes.
I have been going back in time.
Yeah.
This is actually, I'm not sure if we can.
Well, you can say it to these lads because you're preaching to the choir here. A lot of these are shape-shifting people who are not, who are living.
Shapeshifters.
Well, we have a lot of listeners from the astral realm. A lot of people who are living in a perpetual dream state.
Which dimension?
Colombo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As
So
long
they live in. I don't know if you remember the procedural crime drama Colombo.
Yes.
Yes, Peter Falk.
They are
And he's
actually.
like, and another thing.
Your listeners are in an episode of Columbo.
They are living in, essentially, yes, in the world of an episode of the 1980s police procedural drama Columbo. Yes, a lot of them are listening from episodes of Columbo.
So your listenership, they're neither here nor there.
No,
It
they're not.
transcends
Yeah, time, space.
reality.
Yeah,
So on
that's
the
reassuring.
on the Mein Kampf,
yeah.
are you familiar with Anne Frank, the writer Anne Frank?
And Frank, yes.
The author.
Big influence on me.
Would you
Yes.
say that her true calling was as a writer or hide and seek?
I would have liked her.
This is on the record, Peter. So choose your words carefully.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's her writing that stood to her over the longer term.
Yes.
The hiding and the seeking, ultimately.
Although a lot of fun in the moment.
Yes, yes.
And-
Gifted amateur with the hiding and the seek.
That's right.
Gifted amateur.
Yeah.
It was her writing, I think, that people remember her for.
Right. And would you count her as one of your favourite authors, Anne Frank?
Big influence on me.
Yeah.
Big
I
influence
feel-
on
I
me.
believe-
Whenever I'm writing an article, I like to type it up, hiding under my desk and staying completely silent.
Yes.
And Anne Frank, fact or fiction?
Fact or fiction?
Yeah. Would you classify her writing as non-fiction or fiction?
I think she was.
Do you think she was exaggerating?
I think.
Do you think there's a lot of poor me?
There was. I think it's hard to judge people by the standards of our times now.
But try.
I think Anne Frank had a lot going for her,
Right.
and I think she had a lot to say,
Yeah.
and I think she was beautiful in here, and
So you're saying you didn't find her
Here.
a handsome woman?
no, I think she was handsome.
You think she was a handsome
She was
woman?
a handsome. Well, she was a child.
Easy now. Okay. Take it handy now. Now you're starting to sound like some of your fucking
Tom
your
Humphries.
patrons, Humphries and Schofield. No wonder they liked you. Let's have another look at it.
Yeah, let's have a look.
at the
Okay, so we're going to go
questions
through
that we got.
I just like to say, so there's no ambiguity. There's never been anything between me and Anne Frank.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We've never.
well,
met.
this picture would say otherwise. We're going to pull up a picture there.
We're going to pull up
And
a picture. We have you placed in a few places where you've
We've got
your hand
some
caught
photo.
in
We have
the
a photograph
cookie
of
jar.
you at Berlusconi's bunga.
Hang on now. Yes, Anne Frank was at a Silvio Berlusconi bunga party.
They
But
dug
again,
her up.
Silvio had
What was left of
peculiar
her?
tastes.
Right.
He was an outrageous sort of a fellow.
Yeah.
Right.
But again, me and Lou never went in for any of that.
Yeah. Frigno.
Me and Lou now, we'd have a couple of pints after dinner and we go to bed.
Right.
Whatever Clinton and Silvio got up to with it's neither here nor there to me.
Jesus, mother of God.
So we're going to go to the comment section here. Do you want to say something?
No. So this is the chief has gone undercover into the comment section of Peter Flanagan's articles for
So
the journal.
I'll read out a few of them and then you get
Right.
a chance to respond. So this was on your article recently about the confession.
Yes.
Which
So-
confession now? Can we just give context, please, to the
What would
listener?
you care to maybe you?
Flanagan, maybe you do the
I wrote a pretty hard hitting piece.
Right.
And this is a trigger warning.
Yeah.
It was a hard hitting piece.
A Cromwellian piece.
I
Take no prisoners.
I pitch capped the
Yeah.
reader.
Tarred and feathered.
I applied tar to the scalp of the reader and I ripped it off with
Right.
my words.
With your fucking words.
With my words.
You
With
clawed
my
their
journalism.
top of their head off with your fucking words.
Correct.
Yeah. Violent truth.
Violent, hard truths.
Yeah.
Hard truths.
Right.
About the first confession in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Someone had to say it.
So the Catholic Church they've done what now?
They've some bad eggs.
Right.
There'd be bad apples.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Say
want
that
to. I
again.
wouldn't want to spoil your childhood,
Yeah.
Mike.
There's big parts of my childhood now I just don't remember.
Yeah. Is there a particular part that's blank? Do you kind of perhaps
just-
remember taking Holy Communion and then
No, I wore
waking up in UCD at 22?
No, I was an altar boy, and I remember I going in there one day to do mass, and Father Mulhiggins was in the sacristy, and he was doing kind of a strange, what seemed like South American dance, and then I came to about 7 years later in the county final against Dixborough under
Right.
16s.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know.
County final.
Yeah, and we fucking won
You won.
by a pint.
And of course, you still had hot wax in your anus at this point.
You were an altered boy. You might want to say.
I had been I was an altered boy.
Yeah.
Yes, I was never the same again.
Mm-hmm.
That's an excellent fucking point.
There we go.
But this article you wrote was about
My first confession.
your first confession.
That's right.
So you've confessed first to the priest, and now you've confessed to the British public and the Irish public.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
And the
And you-
people of the astral realm.
And the astral realm, of course, to people watching us from an episode of Columbo.
Yes.
Uh,
The people who are neither here.
Nor in
there.
fact
Or there.
Um,
And you ruffled a few feathers.
I did.
with
Yeah.
this, Peter, and we're going to go through some of these comments. So
Yes.
Morris Whelan,
Yes.
and pull up the comment
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
He says, I'll just read out a few of them, then you can respond to them. So Morris Whelan says, brilliant. I could have written this.
Oh, Jesus, Morris.
Morris
Anthony-
Whelan.
Yeah, Morris Whelan. Anthony Stack says...
That's a nasty jibe from an Irishman to an Irishman.
Anthony Stack says, the journal is a home for essayists who have nothing much to say other than that they were or are oppressed by the Catholic Church. And then Anthony K says, what a fucking crock of shit.
Oh, for fuck's sake. How does that make... Flanagan, no. Flanagan,
Care to
no.
care to
Peter,
respond?
Get him some more. Get him have another drop of Ishka. Would you give him a bit of your fizzy, you tight little bollocks? Oh, fuck. Flanagan, for fuck's sake.
Oh,
Jesus,
Flanagan.
this couch is going to have to be fucking burnt. We're going to have to burn this couch. Flanagan, there was mucus in that, and I thought a snail come out of your mouth.
Fucking George Mucus over here.
A goldfish is after coming out of his nose. Jesus Christ. A nastiness is after coming up in you after listening to that.
Vile.
Your fucking head's been turned to scrambled eggs. Fucking hell.
I want to send a message. Was it William Morris?
No, that would be
Was it
an acting
Anthony Stack?
agency.
Morris Whelan.
Morris Whelan.
Read
Yeah.
out what Morris Whelan said again. That was a good one.
Brilliant. I could have written this.
And if Morris Whelan
And
could have
yeah.
written it, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Ah, Flanagan, no. Don't read them out again.
Oh, right, okay.
We're going to have to fucking get the. We're going
And
to
then
have to
there's
get
one
the
more.
defumers in. Right.
Tom Humphreys. Peter Flanagan is a great man.
Tom Humphries.
Humphreys.
Yeah.
Did Philip Schofield say anything?
He says, he goes, I stand behind Mr. Flanagan wholeheartedly.
Jeez, I wouldn't want.
And vice versa.
I wouldn't want Schofield
Standing behind
too
you,
closely
yeah.
behind me now.
William Morris.
Yeah.
William
Morris Whelan.
Morris Whelan.
The bowed Morris Whelan.
There needs to be context around that.
Right.
He's from Kildare. I know him.
You know Morris
I
Whelan.
know him.
You grew up with him.
I know him.
He never had a kind word for you.
Never the kind word. He's been cyberbullying me.
Right.
You'll go to Kildare town now on a Tuesday afternoon,
Yeah.
and he'll be sitting outside McCarty's chipper.
Right.
Do you know McCarty's chipper?
No, I'm not familiar with it, no.
No. I
Is that
do.
a race thing?
He blocks out anything Italian. There's something happened with him in the
Yeah.
Vatican, and it's all.
Morris Whelan.
Yeah.
He'll be sitting outside McCarty's chipper.
Yeah.
And for an indication of this guy's character, he'll be sitting on top of a barrel of dynamite, stroking a pig.
Whoa. What?
Thistle in his mouth,
Thistle in his mouth.
spitting venom at people.
Right.
Bile.
And be sitting there on his phone.
Piss and vinegar.
If he's,
Coming out
not,
his
if
ears.
he's not saying it to your face, he's saying little nasty remarks on the internet.
Right.
So Morris Whelan, if you're watching, go fuck yourself.
He's a mean little man.
And don't be smoking on that barrel of dynamite. I don't know where he got it.
Yeah. Smoking a thistle.
He'd be smoking a thistle.
Would
He'd light it on fire.
He'd dry out a thistle and try to smoke it.
And he's only daring you. He's only daring you to ask him to put it out.
But do you think Morris Whelan...
But the real dynamite
Yes.
is my journalism.
Yes.
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 If
And
you
it's,
had-
and it's just as flammable and just as explosive.
Just as explosive. More so, actually.
Yes. Because your journalism has left Irish society as we knew it in a pile of dust and rubble.
My journalism will burn the flesh from your bone.
Yes. Right. That's not something I think I'd like.
No?
If I was to read an article.
Which you're
that
not
a-
able to read, Mike.
I'm certainly... I can make sounds.
You can make sense.
I can sound it out.
I read out your articles to him.
Yes.
And yes.
He actually...
With what kind of accent do you put on?
pictures. Huh?
What kind of accent do you put on when you're reading my articles?
I try to do it in your voice.
Really?
Yes.
Have you
And,
tried a Nigerian accent? Because I always find that my journalism...
It reads Nigerian a lot of
It
the time.
read-
Are you
yes.
popular in Nigeria?
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Okay.
I'm very popular in Nigeria.
There's a little bit of you create a kind of a fevered kind of a festival in the loins of Nigerian widows.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I empathise with Nigerian widows.
Yeah.
They see you as a
Women
white
know.
savior.
Would you see an English widow? Would you have any empathy for her, or would you see that as just desserts?
Depends how he died.
Huh?
Depends how he passed away.
I shagged him to death.
You shagged an Englishman to death and left his family. You left kids without a father, wife without a husband,
I said they're better off without this fucking lush.
and you shagged them to death.
And I shagged them to death. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shakespeare.
And it was too good for him.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Dickens. Tolkien. Flanagan.
Which order? That's the question.
Yeah.
Because
Shag, marry, kill.
Oh.
Shag,
now
marry,
we're-
kill.
Now we're talking.
I would marry. I'd marry Dickens because I just think they're nice stories. Oliver Twist.
Mm-hmm.
You'd go to bed happy every
Great
night. He'd be whispering
expectations.
little stories in your ear.
Seem to have a sense of kind of moral justice.
I had great expectations for this podcast, and you are you're smashing it.
I tell you, there was no smoother sentence than that. Well done, Chief. This is what happens when the Chief meets his hero. He can be very well behaved and complimentary. Look at him. And he's taking notes. So, I'd marry Dickens. I'll be honest with you. I'd shag you, Flanagan. I'd have to shag you because it's what you deserve.
I'm a master of sex.
And it'd neither be gentle or loving,
Mm.
but you would get shagged, and you'd live to be shagged another day. And I'd probably have to kill Tolkien
Yeah.
because he's after giving a lot of ammunition to the fucking nerds.
Yeah.
With
And
those,
the far right.
with those stupid fucking books. The far right. You think Lord of the Rings is after kind of
Have you seen the new series?
no?
The HBO series.
I heard it was shite.
It's one of the worst things I've ever seen. It's also grossly offensive to Irish people.
Is it really?
Oh yeah, it's
Why?
grossly offensive. So it's fascinating because they've tried really hard, perhaps with good reason, to be quite progressive in
Yeah.
the casting. So it's very diverse cast. So there'll be black elves and Indian dwarfs. I'm sorry, I don't want to upset you.
No,
Trigger
yeah,
warning
yeah.
for anyone in the astral realm.
And in the astral realm are episodes of Columbo.
Well, in Columbo in the 1970s. So in the 1970s, you won't know this, but racism is bad.
Yeah. Yeah. It turns out that your bread and butter is a sour piece of kit. In the end,
I wouldn't do it.
yeah. As fun and as good as it feels now,
Yes.
it's all going to come toppling down like
Even-
the city of Jericho.
You are in a 1970s television program, so they probably don't know any people of color.
Yeah.
But
Easy now,
What?
Chief. What the hell was that?
Sorry.
You soften your cough over there, will you? Take the notes of the meeting and less of the right comments. Jesus
I didn't
Christ.
enjoy that.
I didn't
sorry.
enjoy it one bit.
I didn't enjoy that.
Sorry, that was unprofessional of me.
Tasted like barbed wire.
We'll
in my
strike
mouth.
that from the record.
Huh?
We'll strike that from the
I'll
record.
strike that from the
Sucking
record.
on
So,
sucking on
funny
barbed
enough,
wire over there.
we're talking about Lord of the Rings.
So it's a very diverse cast, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So the idea is, of course, we're all equal.
Yeah.
Then they cast hobbits exclusively as Irish people, but they're not hobbits. They're like pre-evolved hobbits.
Yeah.
So they're hobbits with these kind of hooves for feet
Jesus
and
Christ.
these lumpen cabbage heads.
So they're from Cavan.
Ah, for fuck's sake,
Wow.
Chief.
Wow.
What the hell is that
Wow.
kind of thing to say?
Wow.
People from Cavan work hard and pay tax just like everyone else.
It's not what, yeah.
What?
So, no, continue, sorry.
Just because it's not
Yeah.
this dimension.
You think that was cool or trendy just because you're speaking to people in the astral realm and they've ears coming out their chins and they don't really know what's going on? You know better than that.
Just because people in the astral realm don't speak English and all they can detect from us are sounds and shapes and colours
Yes.
doesn't mean that you should be
Shitting on Cavan like a
making
fucking
me uncomfortable.
crow with
Right.
IBS over there. Sitting on the telephone pole, shitting down on a mother just trying to cook a boiled piece of ham for her children.
If I was your editor at the Leinster Leader, I'd say
Right.
cut it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to make it as a journalist if I keep this up.
That's a fucking given.
Right.
You little
But
cunt.
you should have with Lord of the Rings, right? So, I made this observation. I don't know if you did, but you did because I think you have your finger on the pulse of current affairs. But Putin Putin. He blew up a dam in Ukraine and flooded. You guys, you know this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I made a comparison that's what the Ents do in Lord of the Rings when they're attacking Isengard in the Two Towers.
So
and I'm just wondering, was Putin? They attack a dam, the water comes down, and it floods Isengard when they're fighting Saruman. And I'm just wondering if you think Putin, maybe he's inspired by Lord
Would
of the
you
Rings.
be a voluntary celibate or an involuntary celibate?
Well, that's for me to know and you to find out, Mr. Flanagan.
I will say this about what you've said there now. I did see Putin posting a thing on Instagram with a little muffin saying about to eat elevensies, which is, of course, a hobbit.
Right.
A hobbit meal. They eat elevensies.
And lambus bread.
Yeah. So I think there is a chance that he is influenced by Tolkien and that world. Although I doubt he'd ever admit that because of how gay that would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be gay.
It would. As gay as Henry Shefflin, who we've outed earlier
many
in the
times.
Series.
We've outed a lot of the Kilkenny hurling team as gay men. Yeah.
That should be your job.
Yeah.
Some fucking journalist you are.
Some fucking journalist sleep at the wheel. The bus is after crashing into a tree.
If you send me video footage, I'll get it published.
Oh, I'll have it.
Yes.
J.K. Rowling, friend or foe?
Foe.
Foe.
Winston Churchill, fat disgrace or paedophile?
Both.
Both.
Fat pedophile. Fat pedophile.
Lewis Capaldi, talented singer or chubby knacker?
Mentally ill.
Did you watch the documentary?
No.
No.
Do
Capaldi, do you know that song, the famous one? Do you know that? And you used to be somebody you loved. You know that one?
Yeah.
Turns out it was about his granny. He wants to shag his granny.
Lewis Capaldi has sex with his grandmother.
Well, he wrote the song. You used to be somebody. I was getting used to being somebody you loved. And apparently he said he wrote about his granny. His granny dying, but still.
The more I learn about this guy.
That's a song written from the lines. Like that's a song penned with the cock of Capaldi.
He's unwell.
Yeah.
He's cancelled a load of gigs there, old Lewis.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true, yeah.
He did. But in the documentary, you can see that he's in ribbons, like. He's drinking he's drinking a lot of fizzies.
Oh, is he?
He's drinking
Fizzy orange.
Fizzy orange, Fanta. Straight, like a little sucky calf. He has an IV going over his arm.
They
there.
don't have club in this country.
Yeah.
Or Sidona.
And that's where they've kind of, because a club would have you as strong as an ox.
It would, yeah.
Yeah.
Rock Shandy, forget about it.
I remember actually one time I went into the doctors and I had a terrible case of snot nose. And the doctor prescribed me 2-liter bottle of club. I was as fucking healthy as a fucking bull within a week. I was. That's the truth.
Are bulls particularly healthy?
There's actually.
What's the mental health of a bull?
They're actually cracked. They're not well at all.
No.
They go wicked.
Famously, you wouldn't want one in a China shop.
You wouldn't want a bull in a China shop.
Or one in China because they're massively...
Yeah. But they're pro-America.
They're pro-America. They're against Asians.
They absolutely are.
Or Spain, because the running of the bulls.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with what?
Would they enjoy that, though? The bulls? I feel like
I
that's
don't
their
think they
moment
do.
of...
I think the running of the bulls is that's them at the height of their powers more so.
I'd say it wouldn't get much better than that as a bull.
No. Well, what you do as a bull, because we'd have a bull now, and this would be something, and it'd remind me of you, Flanagan, the way you spread your seed around this city, but
Or the way I penetrate the truth.
or even the way that you, in a lot of ways, enter, exit, and enter again the realm of truth.
The way I will run headfirst at a story regardless of the consequences.
Absolutely, it is bullish.
The running of the bullshit.
Hmm?
The running of the bullshit.
It's all coming out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say
How long have you been waiting to say that to me?
They say never meet your heroes.
Jesus Christ. You said before this that you'd written him a poem. And now you're just giving Bard comments. You're trying to impress him by being. What he's trying to do now is neg you. Because he read the book, The Game. Recently, and where it's like if you start being
that about hurling, is it?
No, you're thinking of the Sunday Game. The Game would have been a book by a guy named Neil Strauss.
Oh,
a little baldy, fucking flute.
Gaelic football.
No, it wouldn't be Gaelic football. No, it would have been a book written about how to trick women into touching your flute.
Jesus.
Yes, and so one of the ways you trick a woman into touching your flute is you'd go up to her and she'd be standing at a bar and you'd say to her, she'd say to you, hello, and you'd say to her, shut up, you ugly bitch.
Jesus.
Yeah, and next thing she's fucking flat out, you're fluting her gob and she going 90.
Jesus.
Yes. So anyway, fucking
you wrote that book?
He didn't write it,
No.
but he's been reading it and rereading it for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
I came in one day, and he was up sitting at the top of my stairs, pants around his ankles, and he was just rubbing a pound of butter up and down his calves and thighs like this. And he had an audio book of The Game, just blaring, telling him these tricks, and he started buttering his balls. And I said, will you ever get the fuck out of my house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he boiling popcorn?
Huh?
Was he boiling popcorn?
Well, I think that's what he was trying. There was certainly no shortage of salt down there, and he was there was a bit of a crack and a popple going on.
Snap, crackle, and pop.
Snap, crackle, and pop.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is now what
he's trying to neg
me.
what
he's trying to do to you here now is say,
I want his approval. When he said that, I kind of wanted.
I'm trying to push your
approval.
buttons.
Well, that's
Flanagan.
exactly right. He's hoping he'll have a mean word for you, and next thing your fucking head is
because
welded.
I didn't care about him at all.
Oh.
But now,
Okay.
in a way, he has the power over me.
Well, that's right, because he's played a sinister little trick, because he wants the head of Flanagan welded between his arse cheeks, and then he'll have, he'll be going straight to Valhalla. But don't look at Flanagan like that now.
Jesus.
I don't like that. Stop looking at. Don't breathe like that either now.
Do you want to read me your poem?
Can you read? Remember,
I don't want to.
you read a poem for Flanagan.
We'll start again.
Read.
All right.
We'll start
Right.
again.
Okay.
So this is a poem, and Rob, as much as he's trying to act cool now, is a massive, massive fan of Peter Flanagan as a journalist and a comedian.
As a man.
As a man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for
And he
saying that.
wrote a poem about him, and he read it to me earlier, and I thought it was
Yeah.
one of the most beautiful pieces of writing.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Yes.
Peter Flanagan. Not much one for shenanigans. He's a man of truth. A man of love. A man of lust. But a man of justice. They say the pen is mightier than the sword. Give this man an award.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck, what's the rest of it?
Mm.
He lives and dies by the swords.
Sword with sword.
Yeah.
Unconventional
Peter Flanagan. The man, the myth, the legend. There's a beacon of truth. Light in the dark. A shark in the water.
A predator.
It's a great white. A knight in shining armor. Good head of hair. And a purveyor of whimsical observations. And I love you, Peter.
Jesus, that was gorgeous.
That was actually very
there
very
we
nice.
go.
That was
That's the
fucking
nicest
lovely.
thing anyone's ever said.
Water under the bridge.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Did Schofield put you up to that?
He did. We kind of co-wrote it together. He's a
He was
ghostwriter.
ghostwriter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a lovely man.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Thank
to be
you.
Fair.
That was
Thank
lovely.
you.
That was lovely.
Thank you.
There was a little bit. It was kind of you were kind of repeating different things.
I was.
When
But
you
I-
when you when you
I was trying
rhymed
to get the
sword
point
with
across.
sword, I got worried.
Yeah,
I thought there's an outside chance he's improvising this,
yeah,
but you really brought it together.
Well, I'm not well, Peter.
yeah.
I'm not well.
No.
Would there be a lot of mental illness in this house?
Yes.
There would be. You could lick it off the walls, to be honest with you.
There's a musk.
There's a thick film.
There's a musk.
There's a thick
Elon
film
Musk.
of
Erratic behavior.
erratic behavior
Disordered thoughts.
and a malevolence. There's kind of a malevolence dust kind of sprinkled on a lot of the different applications in this house.
It's heavy.
But
It's heavy.
I'm going to ask you this now, because we've done our time, but and it's been an honor
Yeah.
and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying
And
that.
I genuinely think I can honestly say that I love you.
Thank you.
I think you're the greatest Irish writer since
Joyce. Joyce? Heaney.
I would say even before Bram Stoker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the greatest Irish writer since Bram Stoker. And I also think that you are probably the most fearless Irishman since Bobby Sands.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I love you and I thank you. And we actually got you
Gift.
a little gift.
Wow.
And that is Sunday Independence Life magazine from last summer. So it's a year-old Life magazine, which these are going to be worth. This in a few years will be worth 30 quid probably.
Trad's bad girl.
And that's Lisa.
Harpist Lisa Canny.
So Lisa Canny lives in this house,
And it's signed.
and it's signed.
Not by Lisa, but
No.
What did you do to her?
Huh? Lisa had we had our
Oh,
trouble
God.
with Lisa, and we'll just saying that she's behaving herself now.
I've been trying to track her down for 18 months.
Yeah, well, you're not going to find her. We'll just put it to you that way.
this is the closest thing you're going to get.
This is the closest thing you're going to get. In a way, you found her now.
That's not even recording, is it?
No.
Peter Flanagan, ladies
Peter
and gentlemen.
Flanagan, everybody.
The great Flanagan.
Great Peter Flanagan.
Hurrah! Right. Up the lads.